next 4 weeks is Blast Off. Today we're going to talk about a couple Bible verses, but to begin with, make a paper airplane. So if you have a piece of paper at home, just simply fold it into a paper airplane. Feel free to take your paper airplane and have a competition with your family. Let it blast off. Or maybe it will just simply help you remember that our theme is to blast off. And the idea of blast off is simply to take our faith, to grow, to take our faith to new heights. And what we're doing, the big idea for today is that we can spend time with God. If we spend time with God, we can take our faith to new heights. What I want to try with you first is just a little activity, and you can try this too at home. You're going to need a glass jar and some small rocks, some bigger rocks, some sand, different size things like that. What I want you to do is pretend with me that these big rocks, that they maybe represent things that God wants us to spend our time on. Spending time with God. It could be anything that you think of. Maybe you can talk about what those things might be with your family. Could be prayer or reading the Bible, but there's many other things. Small rocks then might be some fun things that you like to do. You play with your friends, you watch TV or play video games or other games, sports, practice, things that we love to do that we fill our lives with. That might be these. And then let's say the sand represents all the things we have to do, maybe like we have to eat, we have to sleep, we have to go to school, we do chores and homework and things like that. So these are all good things. And sometimes some of them might not feel quite as fun, but let's see what happens if we why don't we put a few of these in? We put a few fun things in, sports and school and all these different things. And then we add all the things we have to do. Sometimes it feels like there's a lot of things we have to do. And then maybe once we finish all those things, we do a few more things that we like to do. Oh, I want to play some more video games or read some more books or have some friends over, do a sleepover, watch some movies. And then, of course, right before bed, you got to brush your teeth and things like that. Now, if you try to fit in some of these other things that God would love us to do, like spend time with Him, if we try to fit those in, they don't fit quite as well. So it's sort of a simple idea, but imagine then if you did a couple things like that right off the bat. Maybe you woke up and you prayed, or you read a Bible story with your mom or your dad or something like that. Then you still have some time for some fun things, and you could fill in some of the time with things you have to do. Of course, you have to go to school, and then even still have time for some more fun things that you love, go to practice, and then you had a little more homework to do. But what you see here when you finish it up is that even if you do these things in the right order, or you make what's called prioritize, you can do all these things and still fill up your life with all the good things that God calls us to do, including spending time with God. There's a great story in the Bible about spending time with God, spending time with Jesus, and it's about a woman named Mary and her sister Martha. It's in the book of Luke, chapter 10, verses 38 to 42, and I'm not going to read it for you. I hope you'll read it together with your parents at home. And you could do that right now. You could pause the video, or you can keep going. Either way, I'm going to share a couple more things. Whether you read the story already or you're going to read it later, spending time together with God or spending time with others are very similar. Think about your best friend. I had a best friend I was telling my kids about recently named Steve. I was probably late in elementary school, maybe early middle school, and we would hang out together and spend time together. And I remember one game that he and I would play where we'd build these Lincoln log forts and houses, and we'd put plastic cowboys and army guys in there, and then we'd shoot down each other's teams with rubber bands, and we'd spend all kinds of time doing that. And I really got to know him and had great memories of becoming his friend and growing in our relationship. And our relationship with God is really quite similar. We don't really grow and become closer to God if we don't spend time with God. But it can be hard to do that, to carve out that time. And that's what that little rock and sand metaphor was. And maybe you could even do that with your family and talk about what are the distractions, or what makes it hard to fit time with God into our lives. How can we spend time with God? Maybe that would be something fun to do with your family. Pull out a piece of paper and maybe put Post-its all over it with your different ideas. And each day you could take a Post-it off of it, or I don't know, come up with a creative way and wonder together about all the different ways that you might be able to spend time with God, whether it's by yourself or together as a family. And then to wrap things up, there's a few things you'll be able to find on the website, and one of those is My Time with God. It's something you can download and you can print off, and there's a coloring sheet. And so every day, if you spend time with God, you can color in one of the planes or the rockets to remind yourself of the different things you've done and perhaps the ways you've grown and what you're learning about who God is and God's love for you. That's all for today. I hope that helps you as we begin this journey of blasting off and together with the church, reviving and growing in our relationship with God. Thanks, kids, and have a great week, and hopefully I'll see you next week.